Hey everyone, 95 Fathoms here with my hunt for Gen 5 Rhyhorn as the finale of my Rhydon quest, where I have been hunting for shiny Rhydon, or Rhyhorn, in every unique main series game at the full odds. For a few reasons, I haven't hunted these precisely in order, but to close it all off, I'm swinging back around to my favorite generation and one of my absolute favorite places in all of Pokemon, White Forest. Outside of Full Odds Eggs, this area in White 1 is the only way to shiny hunt for the Rhyhorn line in Gen 5. White Forest is built upon, frankly, a rather complex system that the game does not really explain, but the gist of it is that the NPCs currently living in your White Forest determine which of the 33 available Pokemon can currently be encountered in your game. In the case of Rhyhorn, the NPC you're looking for is Shane, who looks like this, though he's one of the few NPCs who has a doppelganger, with his doppelganger Leo spawning Pidgey instead, so double check that before you lock into this hunt. You can easily tell who they are by talking to them and seeing their name here, and they'll also mention which Pokemon they spawn in their dialogue like that. The other complication is that even with the right NPC, you need tall grass available to encounter their Pokemon, and whether NPCs cause grass to spawn is inconsistent. In my experience, grass will always appear if there are two named NPCs living there, but singular NPCs have a variable effect. I did some testing a few years back, assuming that each unique NPC had a static effect on the appearance of grass, and made a comprehensive list of which ones did what. And then I set up for this hunt, originally planning to hunt on 4 games, and Shane alone caused grass to spawn on only one of my games, while the other 3 needed an additional NPC for grass to appear. I've wound up deciding to hunt on the one game that is able to encounter for 100% Rhyhorn, but nonetheless, this is baffling to me. As much time as I've spent hunting in and trying to learn more about White Forest, this is just one of many parts of the system that remains a mystery to me, so if anyone happens to have any more knowledge about this that they're willing to share, I would love to hear it. Anyway, while getting White Forest configured is a time-consuming endeavor, it's just a basic random encounter hunt at this point. So all that's left to do is keep running around in the grass here, and I'll see you when I find Rhyhorn. Oh, shiny Rhyhorn! Shiny Rhyhorn! Oh my god. Oh my god. That's it. Shiny Rhyhorn in Gen 5. That's the last one. Shiny Rhyhorn after 7,631 encounters in White Forest. This went to a pretty decent number. This hunt felt pretty good. I originally was quad hunting this. I set up to quad hunt it after getting Heart Gold Soul Silver Rhydon, and put in all the work to get 4 games of White Forest set up, which is a reasonably complicated task. And then I decided I didn't want to be closing off the quest with Legends, and that's when I pivoted to Legends and worked back around to Gen 5, to my favorite gen, to a White Forest hunt, which is like my favorite place in any game. And so I got back to it after finishing getting shiny Rhyhorn in X and Y, and I was like, I don't really want to quad hunt this. This is the finale of this quest. It needs to feel really satisfying, and if I'm quad hunting, getting like 1,000 encounters in no time at all, and then get a shiny after like 2000, it's going to feel really anticlimactic. So I took it slow and single hunted it. It honestly didn't even feel that slow anyway. I mean, it's regular random encounters, and I've been doing a lot of standard random encounter hunts lately, so it felt really fast anyway, but it feels good. It feels satisfying, and this is the finale of the Rhydon quest, which is insane. I can't believe that I finally finished the Rhydon quest. And I gave some thought to this, and I had debated what I was going to catch this last one in, but honestly, I feel like the most fitting way to close this off is with a Master Ball. Obviously, I don't need to. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like what I want to do. So we're catching it in a Master Ball. It's one of the few balls I don't have a Rhyhorn in at this point that is available in games that don't have Apricorn balls, so there's the shiny dex. I remember from my first shiny Rhyhorn in Gen 5, this dex entry is very mean and calls it slow-witted. Poor Rhyhorn. I don't think you're slow-witted, and I love you. I do have a nickname, and the nickname is going to sound a little bit, I don't want to say derogatory, but it's going to sound like it's not quite what I really mean it to be. I'm nicknaming it Respite, because I was just trying to think of, what nickname is fitting for the final shiny of this quest. And I was just thinking of, the vibe of that, and what came to mind was, I don't know why. I guess probably because Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 came out not that long ago, so they've been on my mind, but I thought of Undertale, the end of the True Pacifist ending, and the song that plays at the end is Respite. And so I was like, that feels like a perfect name for this last Rhyhorn. Actually, yeah, you know what, let's this is on the Moth Quest file. That's the other reason I wanted to single hunt it. I was like, if I single hunt this, I can guarantee that I get it on the Moth Quest file, and that would be a really cool thing to do. This is actually the first non-Moth Quest shiny I've gotten on this game. Everything I've gotten so far on it, but actually, the only 2 shinies I've gotten on this have been the Burmese. Everything else has gotten on a different cartridge. Anyway, I'm gonna nature guess relaxed. I know that's what Mothim is, but that just feels fitting for the end of the quest. There's my Mothim, my Wormadam, my Volcarona, and my Venomoth, and serious shiny Rhyhorn, because this quest is seriously over. It's very hard to believe. This is, I'm pretty sure it was August 21st, 2021 when I started this quest. I have it written down. I can double check that really quickly. It's in my spreadsheet. No. Okay, it was August 17th, 2021. I was close in the date, and I was just thinking of the year probably, and that's why I was thinking it was the 21st. So this is not exactly a month, but just shy of a month before the 4-year anniversary of starting this quest. It did not need to take that long. Let's be totally honest. I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, it took me so, no, I doubled down. I rehunted things on this quest. I took a long break from this after I got super burned out when I went back-to-back 13k in Gen 7 and Gen 6 on the Lunatone and my original Alola Rhyhorn. The Lunatone in X version, and then the Alola Rhyhorn that I got originally, the one that wasn't on capture card. I took it must have been a year away from it or something like that. It was a long time. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a while. So it didn't need to take that long, but nonetheless, it has been in my backlog for that long. And I had no idea this quest is going to be that much when I took on it, because it was a generation quest when I started it, right? And then I expanded on it, and as I said, I rehunted everything, not everything, but a bunch of things. It's been an ordeal. It's been an ordeal. And I actually realized after I'd already decided for all sorts of other reasons, let me actually show it off in battle. I realized for all sorts of other reasons that this was the most fitting place to end off the quest, because the first Rhyhorn that I found not on capture card was my Gen 5 Rhyhorn. So what a fitting way to close off the quest. Very, very much bookends going on here. Also, I didn't even say, but Rhyhorn's Gen 5 sprite is phenomenal. Like, not even... I have my Gen 5 bias. Like, I obviously have my Gen 5 bias. I love Gen 5. I love all of its sprites. But, like, I wouldn't necessarily... I'm not just saying in terms of, like, I love the animated sprites and everything. I just think Rhyhorn looks so cool. Like, a lot of Gen 5 sprites are, like, animated versions of previous generation sprites. Rhyhorn's is just totally new, and it's one of the only sprites where you really get a feel of, like, all of its ridges and sort of, like, I don't know, armor pieces, kind of? I don't know if that's what they are. But Rhyhorn looks so good in Gen 5. So another reason it's a great place to finish off the quest. I guess I already... I actually may not have looked at my Chin channel. I don't think I got Pokeros. No, I didn't. Did not get Pokeros. I've gotten Pokeros so many times in Gen 5. I don't really care. It's been a long time since I've done a hunt where I actually could get Pokeros. Because, or could actually check for it. Because, like, in Gen 6 Rhyhorn, for example, I was doing, like, encounters and them resetting, and I wasn't going to check every 2 encounters if I got Pokeros. So I have no idea if I got Pokeros on that hunt and then reset over it. But I obviously I have to evolve this into Rhydon. That will be the full closer. But it's hard to wrap my head around. I do still feel like I feel satisfied. This does feel like an accomplishment. I was worried that it wouldn't. But man, what a ride this has been. All right, I went and level grinded Respite up on some Autono elsewhere, and now I'm back in White Forest to do the evolution and show her off an encounter, because of course I wanted to do it here. Not only is it where the hunt took place, but I love White Forest. And I did actually decide to change the time back a little bit to keep it in sunset, because I just felt like I liked that aesthetic for the ending of this quest, and that was, you know, the time when I found it, so I feel like it's appropriate enough to change it back to that. But before I do the evolution, I do want to show her off on the status screen, because I realized I didn't do that before. So there she is, her beautiful sprite, which I am a little bit reluctant to get rid of by evolving into Rhydon. But on the other hand, it is the Rhydon quest, and you know, I love White Forest and I love Gen 5. I will hunt another Rhyhorn at some point that I don't evolve, but Respite is going to become a Rhydon for the sake of the Rhydon quest. And since I'm in White Forest to show her off, I'm just going to use Rare Candy to get her the last bit of the way. I never use them for my in-game playthroughs anymore, so I always have at least a handful available for stuff like this. And there is Respite, the shiny Rhydon, the final shiny Rhydon of this quest. It's finally complete, and I will have a compilation video that is the true close of this quest. I still have to figure out how exactly I want to structure that, but this is the end of the Rhydon quest. I will not be hunting Rhydon in any future games as a part of this quest. I may hunt it in future games, I may not, but I don't really want to be beholden to the newer games, especially because I just don't like shiny hunting in the newest games quite as much, and it's just hunting Rhydon in every single unique game is a much different prospect now than it was in August of 2021. At that point, Legends hadn't even come out yet, and so I couldn't have possibly at that point predicted what shiny hunting was really going to look like going forward in the games. And I mean, we still don't even know if Rhydon is going to be in Legends ZA, for example. As the clock is accurate, this is July 21st, so tomorrow is July 22nd, and there's a big Pokemon Presents tomorrow that I'm assuming is going to give us a lot of new information about ZA, which may or may not happen to reveal Rhydon as one of the Pokemon available in it. But either way, it just... even if it's available, I may shiny hunt it. I just don't want to feel beholden to that when shiny hunting looks very different in games going forward, it seems, than it has in the past. And I just want to stick to the games that I love, and I don't want to feel obligated to do something I don't want to do. But it is kind of funny to think of the fact that, oh god, that back sprite looks really cool. It's funny that I have 20 different shiny Rhydon between all of the ones I've hunted for this quest, including the ones I got not on capture card, the one I got on my Soul Silver GTQ that has no video, and the random one that I found while trying to get smoke balls in Gen 4. Just, I don't know, a couple of months ago. So it was recent-ish. I don't remember exactly when that was, but there's 15 for this quest proper with the capture card and everything. The ones that I have recorded live, but I have 20 shiny Rhydon in total. I have to imagine there's not very many people who have that many shiny Rhydon, so that's something. But either way, shiny Rhydon Respite, the finale to this almost 4-year-long quest. But as I said, I couldn't have really conceptualized what this was going to be when I first set out on it, partially because I set out on it as a generation quest and then I changed it like multiple times over. But I could not be happier that I did this quest. I love Rhydon. I love it way more even after doing this quest. Like, not that I didn't love it before, but I just, like, it's impossible for you to not love something when you've spent this much time shiny hunting, this much time, this much energy on it. So as I said, there will be a video compiling everything together in one way or another, but for now, I really hope you've enjoyed this video, at least if you've been coming along on this ride with me on all of these shiny Rhydon across all of these games. I hope you've enjoyed that. And as always, best of luck on all of your hunts, and take care.